Aloha all, lovely to connect. We are here in our location for our Maui Sacred Journey, and we've completed, and I thought it would be a great spot for hopping on and sharing our November Sacred Energy Pulse. I think the last few that I've done have actually been in Ireland, so I'm delighted to now plug you in to Maui, as I refer her, which is actually we have many homes around the planet, so this is one of our primary homes. And we had a beautiful Maui Sacred Journey, which this Sacred Energy Pulse is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to plug you in to our journey and share with you some of the gems, and also just some of the beautiful nature scenes that we've had since and during as well. But I also want to, of course, give you a little bit of a forecast into the upcoming month. And I am not a astrologer, I am not a channeler, I am not a psychic. However, I do have a lot of those gifts in certain ways, but the Sacred Energy Pulse is just really taking a pulse into the themes that I sense and feel that might support you and enhance your upcoming month, and share a little insight into how to best benefit from the coming elements, and also just the seasons that we are in. So we are in what I had referred to in the October Sacred Energy Pulse, this season that in Huna spirituality in this part of the world is referred to as a time where the veil is thin. And actually it's also known as that in other traditions, with the Day of the Dead coming up, the Samhain, All Saints Day. There is, and then we had Diwali as well. There is very much a celebration of light, but it's also seen as a time where the veil is particularly thin, where we have the capacity to connect interdimensionally more easily. We can connect with our loved ones more easily. We can connect with our illumined guides. We can connect to source more palpably. And also it's the time that in Huna spirituality is very much seen where we're receiving the blessings, we're receiving the gifts from, the past 9 months of planting and toiling and tending to our seeds, of now receiving that harvest, right? We just had the harvest moon, so we're really receiving that harvest. So we're still in that time. That's October, November, December. So it's a really sweet time. It can be intense with the holidays. It can be intense with certain astrological things. However, we have a really special astrological event occurring currently and into the new year, which some of you might have heard of, the 3-Eye Atlas, and which is actually being seen. It's very kind of unclear what it is, a comet, an asteroid. It's been clearly shown that it's not a craft, but it is bringing an energy, it's bringing transmissions, both with the gases it's releasing and just energetically what it's transmitting. So pretty auspicious time with this time of year. So it is a time of year also that's known where we're kind of receiving that grace. Yeah, we're receiving those blessings. And as I had mentioned earlier, sometimes it can be intense with the holidays and everything that's going on, that we can feel challenged with really sitting still and being. So I invite you during this time to really carve out times for sitting, times for contemplation, reflection, and just soaking in and resting, integrating. In November, too, we are in the United States. It's the time that we celebrate Thanksgiving, which is a very mixed holiday and not one that I really connect to related to its origins, because its origins were quite brutal with what happened to the Native Americans However, the theme is an opportunity for us to give thanks. So, as we're in this 3-month period where the veil is thin and we're receiving these divine blessings that are infusing, it's also an opportunity to give thanks, which really is a daily practice in the system, in the Japanese system of Reiki. Giving thanks is part of the precepts. It's a daily practice. And it's just a beautiful practice for us to do any time of year, but particularly this time of year, to really take the opportunity to give thanks. And one of the things that we were really doing here in our Maui Sacred Journey is every place that we went to mindfully enter it and to mindfully give thanks and to give a blessing and to really honor the place and just really connect to our heart space of the gratitude of what it is giving to us as we also share and bless it. And so giving thanks is a beautiful thing to do in retrospect, like thank you for such and such, and thank you for this, and thank you for that. But giving thanks can also be a forward, something that we can do as part of our prayer. So if we are praying or asking for help in a certain area, or if we're praying for other people, or if we're praying for something in the world, to do that. And this is apparently also very much a Native American practice. Greg Braden has a beautiful video on this on YouTube, and it's a practice that I've been steeping in for years, which is giving thanks for the answered prayer. So as you're asking, giving thanks for the answered prayer, and also in a feeling tone of gratitude and a feeling tone as you would like it to be. And there's a lot of strife that we continue to see in the world. A lot of disconcerting, challenging things a lot of affronts that we're seeing not only on humanity, but on the earth. Obviously, there's the atrocious things that are happening all around the Middle East, here in the States, other places in the world, that humans are doing to humans, and the injustices. But there's also the incredible injustices that we're seeing with nature. And for myself, particularly, very challenged with some of the technological ways that we're using to communicate, which is essential. And I love to have those resources to be able to connect with you cyberly. Those are really essential. However, there's a lot of safe and health conscious sources that keep being overlooked. And then there's also attempts to do that in the waters as well, to create these Ethernet networks through the ocean floors, and which are just decimating, the natural world, as we kind of unconsciously, kind of power hungrily do. So in our prayers, giving thanks and really seeing and feeling into those coming through in a new way, in a different way. And also giving thanks in a prayerful, that the consciousness of all those powers that be, shift, that become in the one mind. Giving thanks for that realizing itself. So oftentimes when we're dealing with these challenges that we're seeing in the world, it is natural to fear that Durga, that Kali, that Pele, fire, anger, and the grief. It is natural. However, we must act from a different place. And so acting from a place of thanks, acting from a place of actually seeing and feeling those entities, those beings, those individuals that are offending, that are creating the strife, seeing those beings and giving thanks for that, shifting in a positive way, rather than coming from a place of attack, defamation, degrading, and fighting. All right, when we fight, all that we do is perpetuate. When we fight, all that we do is feed. the fire. That does not mean that we don't take action, and it doesn't mean that we don't speak truth. But to attack perpetuates the attack. So to move into kind of a greater capacity and way of speaking, of taking actions, and from a grateful heart of the answered prayer. Nature responds to that like that. Yeah, and I have over and over and over again seen it, and it's not just me, people all around the world, yeah. And humans do as well, because we're all one. And even though some humans are very fogged over and much kind of ties and, many of them kind of being really influenced by disoriented and low-serving entities and energies, and also some of them also very much influenced by artificial intelligence as well, that can really, some of it I'm sure is positive, but some of it has really kind of guided and steered people away from what's natural and organic into a more synthetic reality. So if we can stay in that gratitude heart and really be in that faith and in that knowing, in that faithful knowing that the power of the subtle is beyond our capacity of knowing, and the power of our true heart and source conquers the impossible. Yeah. And that the ways that we'd really like to experience the world can in fact be realized. Yeah. Sometimes some things have to take place before that happens. Sometimes it gets more intense before that happens. Sometimes it takes longer than we'd like it to be. But remaining in that faith and remaining in that thankful heart, moves mountains. So I invite you in this month of November, wherever you are in the world, whether you're in the US and you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, right, especially in this season, is to celebrate, and move into that creative heart of kind of receiving, because it is very much the season of receiving the gifts, of receiving with a thankful heart and with a faithful heart the answered prayers. So whatever actions you are taking to contribute to the changes in the world, receiving that with a thankful heart and a faithful heart. And just see how life responds. And that can be not only globally, right, for like whatever you might be dealing with family, which can be challenging, or friends or work or colleagues, which can be challenging. If we can move into that space of a thankful, and sometimes that takes, layers where we need to process, where we have angers and griefs. And again, one of the things that we steeped in here in the Maui Sacred Journey is the bowl of light. I might have touched on that in October too, where we're all born a bowl of light, and life happens, angers, resentments, stones fill that bowl. We dim our light, and all we need to do is turn that bowl upside down. And sometimes that takes time. Sometimes we actually need to take each stone and really kind of transmute it and work through it and grieve through it and have some angers through it until we can let go of that bone. We can release that stone. So whatever we can do, especially this time of year, to really process and give ourselves the time in grateful heart and in faith to release some of those grievances and angers that might have built in our hearts, and to open up to what we couldn't have imagined to occur in those situations. Often what happens when we have grievances, and this again can be individually, can be personally, can be collectively, we really shade the possibilities of something different because we really kind of lock people in to be a certain way. So if we can, in discernment, right, with discernment and with clarity, with wisdom, release those grievances, and with a thankful, faithful heart, open up to the impossible. Yeah. Open up to the infinite possibilities that can occur. Yeah. And often those grievances, those stones are learnings, lessons. All the challenges that we go through are lessons, opportunities. As we learn through them, as we grow through them, then we learn how to address those situations more wisely, right? More with clarity, with wisdom, and with heart. And that heart is really the heart that is so expanded that we're like in such deep self-love and self-regard, right? That we can love others and know where to step and where not to step, because we're in such deep self-love and also love for others that we know where not to step with others and we know where to step, right? And then we can be free. Our wings can spread and we can be free, rather than taking those stones and carrying them for a lifetime and just harboring resentment, whether it be personally or whether it be, globally with politicians or whatever, to really harbor those and just carry that darkness, because those actions that others take that are so challenging for us, when we carry them around, we're the ones that are suffering. And that's globally. That's with what we're seeing in the world. We're carrying that suffering, and they're free, continuing to do, perpetuating whatever they're perpetuating. When we free ourselves of those stones, of those horrors, when we free ourselves, then we actually can have an open heart where we're free and we can activate and ignite that freedom for the world. Otherwise, we're just so darkened by their darkness, yeah, that we're just contributing to that darkness. So the power of our gratitude, the power of our faith, yeah, moves mountains. Don't underestimate it. It is not woo-woo stuff. It is power of change. It is power of transformation. So I want to invite you in participating in that in this coming month. And I want to share with you this very special quote that came to me through a bookmark years ago, and close with that as I then begin to show you little gems from our Maui Sacred Journey. So this beautiful quote that I just love, and kind of comes and shows up different times, and it really showed up as part of the Maui Sacred Journey, and just really is so exemplary of this time of year. Faith sees the invisible, believes the incredible, and receives the impossible. And it's anonymous. I'll read that again. Faith sees the invisible, believes the incredible, and receives the impossible. So I leave you with that, beautiful ones, as I share with you the gems from our Maui Sacred Journey, and also just the beautiful gems from the skies and the sea as we were coming to the end, and most folks had left. Just the glory of the sky, the light show. Yeah, the light show. So I'm also very much looking forward to sharing more events upcoming with you, activating that light within you, activating your light body, activating that power within you, your body electric, which is your consciousness, which is your soul essence, which is Reiki, and so that you might support yourself, nourish yourself, as well as what we do in our Kundalini Kriya practices, our breath work, our meditation practices, and our nature-based practices. So gems coming up in the new year. Look those up. We're going to have an online platform for all of us to gather. Currently it's on Patreon. It's going to be moving into a different platform. And also I'm always available one-on-one wherever I am in the world. So you can follow that link before. Enjoy these beautiful sparks and gems of our group gathering, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Aloha.